These are some habits that'll make quiet time difficult for you. Hello, my friend. Here's the cool thing. You can change them. Let's dive in and talk about them. Number one, going to bed too late. We've all been guilty of this. Like, I have to start the day at this time and I stayed up too late, so I'm going to wake up right before I have to leave and quickly scurry out the door. That does not produce a quiet time. And this happens for me when, golly, there's a good show on Netflix and it's a series and it left me on a cliffhanger and I'm like, just one more. This was 24, that show 24 back in college days for me. Like, we stayed up way too late, binging one episode after another. And the technology all around us is built to keep us hooked on it. And so going to bed late makes quiet time really hard the next morning because you need to sleep in. But it's not in the morning, it's in the evening. It's going to bed a little earlier. So if you find that you're having a hard time waking up early enough to have a quiet time, maybe set a reverse alarm, like something to beep to go off to remind you, hey, it's time to go to bed. All right, number two. The reason for your quiet time is off. The reason for your quiet time is off. Look, if it's just a task to accomplish, or maybe you're doing your quiet time in the morning because you think if you do it, God blesses you. If you don't, He doesn't. That's not motivation enough to keep coming back over and over. At least it's not for me. But when my quiet time is for the habit of relationship, that is something I will wake up for. That's something I will show up for. And it is. That the whole basis of it is to be there to hear from God and to talk to Him, to form that relationship. So remember, it's a habit of relationship. It's not like, do this and God is pleased. Don't do that. He is unpleased. It's not good fuel. And when it's not good fuel, it doesn't last. Number three, you're trying to do too much. You got like this 10-hour morning routine that's just perfect. But it's not possible to do. Have you ever done this where you hear like these good habits, maybe on this channel? Like you hear these good things and you're just going to do them all. You're going to do them all at once. It's going to be perfect. You just can't. I really value prayer. I was reading about this person that went to prayer every day for like 3 hours. Maybe you can do that. Like, maybe you can pray for that extended amount of time. Man, this ADD mind, 5 minutes feels like 5 hours. And so sometimes we can, in a good effort to have relationship with God, overdo it. A good thing done way too much of doesn't happen consistently. You know, January 1, a lot of people are going to try to get in shape. And for years, I would do this false thing like, I haven't ran at all, and like, I'm going to book a marathon this year. And that doesn't end well. Like, that's why a lot of habits fall off, or a lot of New Year's resolutions, honestly, they're so large. And so don't try to do everything. Consistency matters more than how long you're doing it. Make sure it's for a relationship and do that. Don't try to climb Everest. Unless you really want to, then train for years. Number 4, it's inconsistent. Inconsistency kind of is a habit. Like, when I really form the habit of discipline, the habit of daily, it happens in multiple areas. But when I'm inconsistent and infrequent, it almost like snowballs on itself. Like, oh, I'm only doing it 4 days this week. Then the next week it's 3. And then 2. Inconsistency kills quiet time. That's why we want it to be not like insignificantly small, but not significantly large, because you need to do it daily. It's just a habit to do. If you struggle with consistency, I would say like do it at the same time after the same activity. For me, because I'm highly addicted to caffeine, my quiet time's tied to starting my coffee in the morning. And so I start the coffee, fiddle around a little bit, because I need to consume some of it so that I can actually hear God. And then that first cup of coffee starts with me listening to the Bible. That'll help your consistency if you're struggling with it. Number 5, you're focused on the duty of it. Look, it might be from a pure motive, but it's there just as a duty and a task, and it's just another thing to do. What if instead you focused on an enjoyment? Like, this ties back to the first one where if you're there for a relationship, I hope you enjoy the relationships you're there for in your life. And we could forget this with quiet time, and there's some things we can do. So if you're waking up in the morning and doing your quiet time right away like me, the house is cold. It's cold, so I do some things. I have my favorite blanket. No, I'm not a toddler, but I still like my favorite blanket. Also, if I'm drinking my coffee, which I enjoy, I'm not drinking tea, which I do not enjoy. I'm also drinking out of, I even try to enhance the enjoyment more. So I have a special coffee mug that I like. I have a fireplace this time of year that the fire is going. These are different things that I've found that I enjoy. It's also, I'm sitting in this chair that's very comfortable. Like, I'm in a comfortable spot. And so have you thought about what you enjoy and what could add some enjoyment to the quiet time? And for you, it's going to be different things. So I hope that you can flip these 5 negative habits and turn them into positive ones. Because in that, it'll help you to consistently have that relationship with God. And you know the cool thing about time with God? We never remain the same. Have a great day, and God bless you in your quiet time.